Around the water side, I love the fish, we get them every day. Jimmy, around the water side, love the fish, we get them every day. So if you wanna get your bunga fish, you better take a walk to the water side. So if you wanna get your bunga fish, you better take a walk to the water side. Can you meet around the water side? Love the fish, we get them every day. Can you meet around the water side? Love the fish, we get them every day. So if you wanna get a bunga fish, you better take a walk to the water side. So if you wanna get a bunga fish, you better take a walk to the water side. Jimmy, around the water side, love the fish, we get them every day. Jimmy, around the water side, love the fish, we get them every day. So if you wanna get your bunga fish, you better take a walk.
Good evening, folks. Samson to Lpr Public Radio. I want to welcome you again on this wonderful Friday afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Safety, Lord Jesus, we want to thank you again this evening for bringing us back here. Lord, we ask you for your continued blessing. We ask you to protect us. We ask you, my Lord, to do everything you can for us as your children. My Lord, this is what we ask every day. And we ask that whatever comes out of our mouth here tonight, Lord, that is be guided and is be something that is worth coming out of our mouth. My Lord Jesus, we ask you to bless the country of the Republic of Liberia. Bless the leaders of the Republic of Liberia. Give them wisdom to do what is good for our people. And bless the host country, the United States of America. Let's go. Thank you. I'm being joined right now by Mr. Soul. So let's put Mr. So on here quickly. Mr. So, and hopefully the other group will be joining us here very shortly. So, Mr. So, can you hear me? Good evening, sir.
If I will come in, just I know what I'm doing.
Excuse me?
I'm still working your stuff. I will come in.
Okay, well, we'll pull you out. You want me to pull you out?
Pull me out. You're not my friend. Don't pretend like you're a friend.
Well, I'm not trying. Okay, all right. We just started. You want to start plowing already, my man? But we're not. Don't worry about that. That's something that I tell you. By the way, folks, welcome. We have a lot of issues here tonight. As usual, we're not using the other platform here, so we're not sharing the other thing here as much. Mr. So, what's on your plate?
Hello, are you hearing me?
Yeah. The question was, what's on your plate, sir?
Dry rest.
I can see this night.
Look, we are not friends, so I don't know why you want to be so nice to me. What on my plate?
Jesus, he said
dry rest with look here. I'm still at work. I'm still at work since the morning be busy.
What one that milk?
Like coconut water. Well, on my plate,
people that Friday evening.
I should tell you tonight it's gonna be crazy. Well, on my plate, after you put all, you pack everything. Let me send this thing. Let me send this. Okay, I sent it to these guys already. Okay, good. Oh man, the thing that on the plate you're gonna see it. After you put all your bags together, carry there, and then when I call you, then you sneezing. Then you want to tell me what on my plate? All right, let's
you still vet because I need some behind. That why you vet for.
Okay, let me come show you the thing that on the plate here tonight.
How did that happen?
We're right here together.
What kind of people there?
They asking me where on my plate. Where on your own plate? Now go here on my plate.
My people, they wired tonight when not easy.
Yeah.
The people who I thought I was trying to have a separate conversation, hoping, but they're together here. That's going to be interesting.
That's the Tewan Cummings collaboration.
Oh, they start already. Jesus. Oh man, I stay with you, but they were
Wakapa unbroken. When you rely on Samson told you are dead, man. He done.
Wow.
You're done.
But you know, Mr. So this speaks to family, right? Where we are on this broadcast. My brother is visiting Minnesota, and he called me up, and we've been at the house for the longest time today. You know, we haven't met ever before in life,
right? And I think I love that. I wish I knew that we made that emergency flight. I think this is a beginning of what we are doing, not just only of the only person I foresee going to be problem to this whole thing is the Liberal.
Yeah.
Because, he
by him to too many places.
Yeah, I think
we're here to have a show. There's no kumbaya here. Let's stop the kumbaya stuff, because let's have a serious conversation. And I have written down some of the. I thought some interesting questions. How am I going to ask these questions when the two people are together?
No, you can ask. One of them. One of us answer. We both don't have to answer you.
You already go. He said if he's not. He said for that. He said one of them.
I think what you guys have done tonight is going to expose this guy vulnerability, his inconsistent, his instability. To one day he will gonglo, the another day will boycott, the next day he will.
I just want somebody that will leave my country. So you two gentlemen, I need pictures from you guys, because I think I want to really publicize the conversation on Tuesday with George Lobo. So I want you guys to send me.
He trying to smooth in the ground. He want to make peace time. He's surrounded. Ever say George Lobo to you have to wait until two of them together before you want picture, please. We're not gonna let it go here, Samson too, please.
But anyway, thank you guys. Thank you. Let's get it going. Mr. So, I was just asking, what do you think you want to put out front here tonight?
There are so many things happening, but what caught my attention, I believe, is a front page editions or something I captured. Let me just make sure here. Or one of the pack here, for the president to say, or the government to say, the sanction does not have an impact on the campaign. I'm not sure in what context. What is he considering? Or are they seeing this to be like some sort of movie theater being created by Uncle Sam, that you will not be concerned of a sanctions on senior high-profile government official? That's troubling.
Okay. Sissy, what do you have in mind?
What I have in mind is the reply to the reply.
Reply versus reply, right?
Reply to the reply. I let a reply to the reply. Maybe there will be a reply to the reply and the reply.
So Comey has sent a reply.
Yes, Comey sent a reply to the reply. And I think the only thing that's missing now is another release from Eugene Fagon that goes with that new reply.
So, is that a song you're talking about?
Look at the song.
I have that song. I'll be playing it. So let's hear it. Let's hear you, analyst.
Yes. Like from mine end, I'll be I'll be on. Yeah, the reply to the reply is on news making stuff. But I'm mostly concerned about the election calendar. We need to inform our people more about the events leading to election, the participation of our people in the upcoming census that is scheduled for this year, October, and the report that surrounds the leges that LACC did, and some of the leadership of leges are in to answer question about 4,000 plus US dollar, stuff like that. I think it is my point.
Wait, they found the money that they make kept in a house that got burnt.
No, the list.
That 100. Oh, that list is different from Legends. Because Legends man say all the money on you, the money burn in your house.
What I mean, gentlemen, on a serious note. So who is pulling who across the aisle now? Is it is that the same color t-shirt you're wearing?
Oh, don't start trouble. Don't start trouble. We
same t-shirt, same chair. So who's gonna be the victim?
I think it's the beauty of this show. I have not been knowing you personally, neither Mr. Tool or Sissy, but the way we have gotten to know each other and the way we are having it, go about it is such a unique manner. I've never seen Sissy before, never met before, just from the platform. I've been to the house several hours. His wife graduated from AME University, the school I attended, and she was a member of the student party that I serve as chairman to. So
and she's a staunch.
And she's a strong swappist
and staunch ANC member too. So the two of them I've been outnumbered my own house.
Oh, I think sooner or later, Sissy will start going hungry because before that guy, the ANC
your man can't spoil my show here tonight. This is not Kumbaya. This is not time for Kumbaya. Your man's time can't spoil my show here tonight. Mikey, the people really ready to spoil my show.
Aujourd'hui, c'est vendredi, mon frère. It's Friday.
Let me introduce a topic here and see what you guys think about it. What is it with a Bon County? What kind of water in our Bon County that when people drink, when they get there, they start saying all kind of things? My girl went over there.
George would be the best person to answer that question.
Yeah, we need to have him on. My girl went over there. My girl went over there after drinking some water. He said, but so what if I steal inside, I'm using it here. That anybody business. If I bill here, I'm leaving it here, right? He said, yeah. The vice president went over there. She hasn't drank the water for a while. She went over there, drank the water, and she said, whether they like it or they don't like it, that's where we are. She said some ridiculous things over there. Of course, she apologized. But the question that I have is, for her, I can understand. Maybe when she got there, it was her home. She became relaxed and just decided. But when you're vice president, you're not vice president for CDC. You're not vice president for Bongan. You're vice president for the entire republic. So things that comes out of your lips perhaps need to be guided. But I thought she did the same thing again when she went to Bonga about 4 or 5 years ago. It's our time. We will eat. And so I'm not too sure what is happening in that county. Do you think if anybody goes in that county, you drink that water, that's how you're gonna behave, or is there something that I'm missing here, guys?
I think, from my perspective, I normally describe the actions from people of that to be like, I think they are in overdrive. Madam Jua Hawatira had not been very close to the president based on McGill's own way of handling the president, and so coming to the presidency very close now at this time. I think she's trying to prove, with zealousness, trying to prove a point that she really committed and more loyal. We found many of our colleagues doing that. Some of them even threatening their own life for political leaders and trying to overly impress, the political party and the political leaders. I think it is not a very good habit. You can be committed to your institution. It can be reasonable. It can be realistic. It can speak about the fact. You don't have to be even president or vice president. I mean, Mr. Toole, Mr. So, Stacey, myself, we don't have to hold any portfolio to be honest about things that we say that will move our country ahead. We just have to be genuine and give an alternative view about what we think our country, which direction our country should go in. So I would like to describe that as an overdrive.
What do you think, Sissy?
But so for me, that was unfortunate. And yes, it was the same banger that Charles Taylor started and said, "Don't mess with my pepper bush." And then look where he's at right now. Pepper bush is still flourishing. He's not there to reap it and to pick the pepper. But having said that, the vice president, I think, I don't understand when people are educated at that level and they make those kind of unfortunate statements. What was she trying to gain? I understand the McGill factor, that now the gatekeeper is gone, so the gate is open, so she wants to walk through it, and maybe the key she wants to use is those kind of unfortunate statements. But if you think about it, the CDC pathway to re-election does not go through Maserado. At least it doesn't go as easily as it went 2017, right? And if it doesn't go through Nima County because Tewan Gonglo is contested in Nima County, and it doesn't go through Lofa County because Omer Boaka is in Lofa County, and now I'm looking at the vote-rich, counties, and it doesn't go through Grand Julia because Grand Julia is having an issue with the CDC. Where is the base? And so now, Bon County, that you think people would think logically about, the vice president makes such statements. And so if you cancel out Bon County, what is the math? How are they doing that math to get reelected? Forget the fact that it was unfortunate that a daughter of Bon County will make such irresponsible statement at the highest level. But think about the political math. How are they getting to re-election if they're canceling all these things out? I can put Rowa G and Sano and the entire Southwest, no disrespect to them, their population will not even equal that of their voting to Nima County. And so if you're just canceling all these places out, what is the idea? What is the thought? What is the math? I like to see their formula, seriously.
Mr. So before that, I thought maybe I agree that if she went overboard, but perhaps she, being the president of wife of an ex-president who always said to himself and to the people, "I am wicked, but I'm your wicked person." I am wicked, but I am your wicked guy. I am a thief, but I'm your thief. So I think by her making that kind of ridiculous statement, it's like, I said something, is not, but I'm your daughter. So will you pick somebody else over me? So I think perhaps maybe I'm just pulling it. But Mr. So, what do you think?
Look, there is also a uniqueness.
And by the way, you should know more because you do know her more than all three of us combined here. So please speak to that.
What do you mean by that? I'm
Mr.
concerned. I'm concerned with the.
She's your friend. There's nothing. I mean, you have interviewed her maybe a couple of times already. So please speak to that.
Leroy, this will not even make us to be friendly with you. So I don't care how you try to restructure me here tonight. It will not work. My hair not feeling your more. So here is the deal.
Yes.
There is a uniqueness about Bon County. Remember that the days of Taylor, Greater Liberia, which was supposedly by then Gangate, I consider that as a capital of the country, in Issa, because that was a stronghold. But politicians are also noted to be remembered whether it is ugly or it is bad. And the clever ones are very good in pivoting to reshift the conversation. And such a person is Dr. Joy Howard Taylor, very smart lady. And I cannot agree more than what Sissy said. There was a sort of block. There was a kind of corridor that was between the president and that of the vice president. And if you talk to some seditious, which I've talked to most of them to try to be quiet behind the scene, the removal temporarily or removal of Nathaniel to McGee seems to be a relief, but others do not understand it. Melvin Cole, who made Melvin Cole to be who he is today, is the vice president. But how can that sort of bad blood, somebody who nurtured you, who brought you, and all of a sudden, because of politics, you just turn around? And we saw what happened. Melvin was one side, The vice president on one side, we saw the result, how it plays out. But for some reason, I strongly believe it was some sort of anger, or there was a way to say, you know what, I'm going to teach these people something. She been quiet for a long time. Why she didn't go to Lofa when it was most needed? Because there's a connection with her and Lofa as well. Why she couldn't go there? That time the deal was still sealed up. Now here it is. And so George Weah, look, he's not a stupid guy. People do not take him for granted. So he saw this. The only hope now is I got to have their daughter to reach over and she can fix whatever damage control. We all know all of those ridiculous things that she said. So she going out now, outlining things that she failed to do in the past, outlining government proposed plan. Road gonna come from this place and we come here, and the next time they roll, we leave from here and we go there. Those are the premises politicians good at doing, and those things resonate with a greater portions of the electors because they want to hear good thing. They don't care. You saw anybody asking how it's going to be done. Why at this time? Nobody want to ask that because people are attracted to something unique, something good. A politician knows exactly how to play this sort of race, that sort of cards with the people. So I can tell you, they're not going to keep that conversation. Joel Howard Taylor seal it up. But the only people that will bring that sort of to retrospect this sort of ridiculous thing with Hall, the Esther Walker, is the opposition. They should be able to have that conversation and remind them, this is the lady, that's your own daughter. This is what she said yesterday. But are this enough? Are they sophisticated in your own words to get that narrative to make them to distract the vice president in your own backyard and begin to have a sort of damage control or be the fixer? I'm waiting to see that.
I have two more I'll put out, and then you guys can bring your own in here tonight. It's Friday evening. I hope it's not that cold over there in Minnesota, where you guys are out in that we have to, somehow.
You're sitting outside in t-shirt.
I don't understand.
I said I hope.
So why are you hoping for?
Okay, let's drop that. I'm not here for trouble tonight.
You see, we big pamphlet again today. My first seen the liberal with the kind of pamphlet. They came right up today.
There's another one here. There's another one. It's in my own backyard. The light, Dallas Dillon. We talk about Liberian politicians, and then we talk about Dr. Weah of not forgiving. He doesn't have that forgiving of spirit or what have you. He always keeping grudge and things like that. On Dallas Dillon page, and I'm not too sure if it's his real page because right now even McGill is distancing himself from his own page. So maybe Dallas Dillon will say that was not his page. But on his page, you go over there, there's a video posted on Dallas Dillon's page, where they pay on the video, Manuba Malu say, if Dallas Dillon win, I'm going to resign. Mike Jabate say, if Dallas Dillon win, I'm going to commit suicide. Classic D said, Dallas Dillon over, OVEN. So, yeah. So, the reason I'm bringing this up, you would think, what? Oh, no. We can't have that here.
We are here. Just keep going.
I hope so. So the reason I'm bringing this up, for me, I think at this point, Dallas Dillon, the person who you see every day doing the work at the Senate for confirmation hearing, being the bigger boy in the room, and for those kinds of stuff to play, I can see you poke fun of it. But many people, anything that goes on your page and have your pictures on it, some people take it serious. And for him now to come back and bring out something that perhaps you want to joke about, but this is no joke. So are you saying now that, for example, Mike Jabate, who is also a Liberian, should not go and commit suicide because you won? That's something that I really don't understand. And to be honest with you, I think that's ridiculous and that's unacceptable as far as I'm concerned. He should be a big of a man. He should be the light. He should be the senator, even though most of Raleigh County. But any problem in Liberia, he should be one of those people who will call for an advice. But for you to put those kind of childish behavior out there, that's unacceptable. What do you guys make of it?
You wanna go?
Yes, I have not seen it, to be honest. I don't know whether it was worded or just a video that
Just a
was
video.
placed there. But
And let me describe it a little bit. As one of these gentlemen go and make their claim, then Ellen will come out, former President Ellen will come out. That's a lie. You know, she had an interview one time.
yeah,
And she mentioned that somebody was lying, and he clipped that, and that become like a reply to each of these three gentlemen. And, you know, for me, there's no joking matter. We have some serious business in Liberia that is happening, and God help us to get you in position of power where you will be able to make a difference and to bring those kinds of childish things up. I thought that was way below him. That's the point. Go ahead, Sid. Go ahead, analyst.
you okay. So firstly, I would think I would agree with you to a certain extent. We'll go through political terms, we'll have differences, we'll be in different institutions contesting for the same process. But at the end of the day, after the process has ended, we need to transition in a more responsible manner. If the person made a statement that was ill-informed, or they were ill-informed about what they were saying, you can use the opportunity to try to provide education, not necessarily, going back at the same words that the person used and trying to bring them down. I mean, that's why your opponent can tend to be your ally at times, because the way you navigate your thought and your politicking around the person, they will now start to realize that what they said before, it was out of ignorance, and based on your school of thought, they will now start to follow you. And I think that's the way to do it, instead of making the person to feel more ridiculous of their statement and feel more shame of their statement. I will do it in similar manner, unlike Delon, like what the guy named Obert situation, where he publicly confessed, that he cooked a story, he manufactured it, and for attention.
Dylan always these are fights.
The sound is good, Sissy. Jerome, Mr. To, I'm sorry, Jerome. Just maybe you just need to refresh, but the sound is good. I just tested it.
Yeah, I tested it from here too. Good. I was asking.
Go ahead, Sissy. Are you have landed?
Yeah, I've landed.
Okay, go ahead, Sissy.
So I'm gonna take a different side on this. I really didn't see any issue. As a matter of fact, I played that thing over I laughed like I drank some beer.
I hope you got your plane ticket right now.
I played that video along with the UG Fagon video with the three chimpanzee dances, and I laughed. Look, here is the thing, Mr. That we need to be very careful about. We take and okay, so on this platform we don't use bad words. So I'm gonna try to not use bad words, but people that we take so seriously in our Liberian political dispensation is so sad for our people. If a responsible political party or a political coalition like the Coalition for Democratic Change has a chairman who vows, he lay out the gauntlet. He vowed that if Delon wins, he will resign. In fact, he said, come December 8th, one of us will lose our position. Yes. How irresponsible is that? Knowing fully well that they had not done their groundwork, they didn't have the numbers. He made that statement to partisans who believed in him, and they all yes, so. I think, as a matter of fact, we should sue Ababa Malu for not living up to his words. Why hasn't he resigned? And I think Delon's stuff was to remind him. I mean, remember that, because remember, these were the same people that called out and said, Polita, we have won election, and they came by and they announced on their various channels. We saw that same thing happening in Lofa County. Remember that? Remember the same people were the people that came out and said that what Soliso had been confirmed. In fact, quite recently they were coming out and saying that Kanle had been confirmed. So when you live in fake news, sometimes it requires somebody to bring back your words to bite you back in the butt. And so for the issue that has to do with Molu, it's politics. The man is the chair of the leading coalition, the ruling coalition. Man, we need to make enough fun of that. As a matter of fact, I need to use Molu's word to make a music video just like they did for Eugene Fagon. I don't have any one pity on that. The other thing though is like Mark Jabate. See, I don't want to discuss people like Mark Jabate and Plastic, right? Because then you're elevating. We're doing what we say George Weah did with the letter for Cummings, and I don't want to do that. I do not want to do that, because there are some people who live on platforms just for people to call their name and they get ratings. So I'm not going to do that. But I think that I don't think that the senators should have listed those other two Liberian individuals because it elevated their stature. But the issue of the chairman of the Coalition for Democratic Change, hell yeah, Mr. I've been laughing at that stuff all day today. I'm my own Lafagande brother, by the way. I'm hoping the Lamapo will get to go and tell him to resign. Because when we say things, we Lamapo can live by it.
Mr. So, you have comment on that? Well, that's way beneath you.
Look, all of those people, they are all disingenuous. They are the same. So I don't know where Senator DeLon is going with this whole thing here. Why?
Remember, he's my light. So please,
look, please. Well, he can be your light, whether I like in total or whatever it is. Other than look, these people, they need to be serious. They were elected to have for 3 cardinal reasons. That should be their focus point. There are a lot of important consequential issues at this time of this election. Talking about biometric system to be introduced, which is a good thing. That's why they need to start focusing and make sure the resources are available to be made available by national government. By the way, who is he to even start mocking at people? Why can't they even mock at him? The man who lied about his own ticket? Come on, give me a break. He wants to remind other people.
I think this show here, Mr. So.
Why are you interrupting
my
me?
Light. You can't go against my light.
I'm not a secret
to win an election. He won the election though, so that puts him apart from Oluwa Malu.
Yeah.
Well,
I agree. He's our light. So, Mr. So, thank you for your comment. We appreciate it. It's a wonderful comment. Mr. George, welcome. Let me throw this one in here, Mr.
Mikey.
George.
You see how
yeah. Time over. But we're talking about the light. Yeah, we're gonna be. I'm not pulling no punches here tonight. When you talk about these
remember,
people, I'm running the show. I'm running the show.
I know. Let me say one thing, sir. Remember, I got an Israeli blood. You can't hit me and go free. So my time, I'm just letting you know. But George, go ahead. Mikey, you're listening. Everybody my listening. He shut me all. He said my time finished. That's how they want to lead that country. When you talk, they sanction you. All right. Go ahead, Amos George. Let's see.
Mr. George, you want to make a comment, or should I throw this other one in, then you come in?
No, Sister, how you doing? Mr. So and Mr. Two. I will follow you, but I just wanted to make a comment on the vice president about Bonkante.
Oh, trouble for them.
Let me tell Madam Vice President, and this coming election, Bonkante is a different place. And we're talking to the people. The vice president, when she took over, she went there and said, look, if you're not supposed to CDC, I will fire people. And she did it, she fired people. From her own town, from Saneye, they came from all it. She fired the primary chief, I think Moses kind, because often that same era. She fired that young man because the poor refused to join GDC. Then she went there and made another statement That if people don't want to work with the man, I will tell the man to take his development and carry somewhere. That's the person I should be referring to. And he came to play. Said in session, George Bush presidency, they cannot point at any major development that the government has undertaken in Bon County. And Bon County is not a taker. Bon County contribute revenue immensely to the government. The China mine, metal selling, Bon County contribute revenue to the government. But Madam Vice President, the Vice President, along with George Weah, they have chosen a path to use the people of Bon County because this theory that the people are stupid. And exactly that's what they have been doing. The other day, when I saw her say she called it council to bring the people together. 5 years, you have not brought the people together. But election coming out when you come to call the people to say you're bringing them together because this theory that the people are stupid. But I can tell her, and there's a CDC, there was step resistance in Bon County. She told my own people, I don't want to call it town name because they are very vindictive. She told the people when she told Mervyn Cole that the people should vote, but the people told her no. My people in my village told us no, we can't vote for Mervyn Cole. We'll vote for Dr. Topa. She told the people, you must forget it. I will not do nothing for you here. The people called me and told me that vice president, Joel Howard Taylor. So I can tell them, let it gear up because the fighting will start in Bon County. We're going to make sure, just our own words. We're not going to use different person words, her own words. Just the going election with Mervyn Cole. She told the person, and President Weah went and sanctioned that statement in Bangan. When Joel Weah stopped in Bangan, he told the people, if you vote for all, you'll see what will happen after this election. They on tape. Those are words of President Weah in Bangan. So they think now, election coming, they're going to bring back arrest. I heard us saying, oh, the road is Sunday now, CB will come to pave it. Really, after 5 years, those are all gimmicks. Madam Vice President, I know someone will tell you, listen to this tip. That's why for me, I don't bow down to anybody from Bon County. No man. I tell you straight, behind your face, in front of you, I will tell you. If I happen to see her, I will tell her just what I'm telling her.
Man, he ain't paying your mom. You ain't paying my mom.
That's it. These people, we talking to our people. Nathan Mange went there. He opened his mouth. The people ran the chairs the other day. Talking about, oh, if we see, we'll build a property there, we're not carry. But Nathan Mange, what you tell you, stupid? Those are your retirement. Those are your retirement. And not for the people of Bon County, it's for your children. Children. What you?
So were you so Pa George, let me ask you, will you be in Bon County?
I'll be maybe go home, I'll be in Bon County by December.
For the election?
Not for the election, but for something else. And I was there last year.
You think CDC will let you enter?
They're not getting visa, baby.
Look.
But December, where something
Mr. Toe.
Yeah.
If I go to Bon County from Sunny Hill, from Total Time, no man can stop me. No man.
Okay.
Because I want we in our era now.
Okay. Thank you. Let me throw this other one out. And you know, back home, when I was growing up, I used to play drum for girls that used to dance at night when the moon shining. So usually,
on the girls,
I'm not interested in the other people that girls are. But my man, I beg you, don't spoil my topic.
Usually, whatever the Oma.
No. I didn't know. Yeah, why I want to distract me from making my statement? So usually, as a drummer, you get in a town and all dress up and what have you. So when you get in the village, then the beautiful girl in the village will say, I got your hot water, yeah. And then sometimes they take your hair tie and wrap it around your neck. That means you know what. But anyhow, so in the process, before the drummer and his colleagues get in the town, the girls, they try to look their best. So it's same thing when you're shooting, when you're going to go visit, and you want to look for something, you got to look your best. Election coming. We got Kumi on one hand, and just to demonstrate that, we got these two gentlemen here tonight. Gonglo, on the other hand, has not declared what he's going to do. He wants to be president. We know that. But Gonglo now, with his broom, and showing to the other political leader, yeah, I am. I got broom. I can sweep. If people like my sweeping style, this is who I am. So today, Gonglo and the former senator from Maryland decided to visit
The U.S.
U.S. embassy.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Mind you now, the former he used to be a senator. Corruption was not important. Calling for sanction was not important those days. Because there was no corruption for you to call the United States, America, or help out with sanction. Nothing. Today now, he put the broom behind him. And by the way, this broom
He was actually behind the broom. The broom was not behind him.
Okay, well, whatever. Whatever. But the broom issue here, it didn't just start this year. Biking, I believe, was 1974 or 75, somewhere in the 70s. Where Amos Sawyer was wanted to be a mayor. His name was
Morrow, yeah, right.
Okay. So this broom business, this sweeping liberal business, not just today. So anyhow, let me play this video for you guys to listen to this senator and watch the broom reaction as he sit there and listen. Now, there are other video on there, but I didn't go that far because I just want to demonstrate here. So let's watch this. What the question then is, where was this senator all these years? Now, America is a king now. Why will America even come to your aid? Are we not citizens and good enough to have a voting power to vote these people out of offices? We have to beg Uncle Sam to come put sanction on people. Is that the only way corruption going to be somehow brought to a manageable level in Liberia?
Yes.
Let me play this.
We
And
don't
then
want no upright.
let me play the video, and then after that we'll go around the room.
About is, why would you want to lie about a march that is fighting corruption?
Wow.
Why would you want to lie about a group of people who decided to stand up against corruption? Why? This is to show that we have a serious problem in the country. Hello? Please just keep it quiet back there a little bit. We decided that we were going to stand up and appreciate the Americans for the sanctions they put on government officials. Not only are we going to appreciate them, we're going to ask them for more sanctions. If you like it, you don't like it, that's your business. We're not going to stay in this country like this forever. We're not going to look stupid in our country. We're not going to see the children getting worse than us.
That's just a little piece of it. For me, yeah, it's a good statement to put pressure on our brothers and sisters that corruption is a very serious business. What he said over there was that corruption does not only it's not just stealing, from my interpretation, but it hurts all of us. Because what corruption does, from my perspective, it takes away money that's supposed to go for my grandchildren tuition and what have you. Now I gotta continue to work until my grandchildren then get to a certain level where they'll be out of high school in Monterey. If the corruption is not, and the president going around paying school fee, keep that money and invest it into education. You pay school fee for certain people, those people graduate. What happened to the next group that coming up? Are you going to continue with it? So I'm not frowning on that. But did you see the broom behind there? with the broom held way up in the air. That in the sky you'll be sweeping, Gonglo. You're not sweeping on the ground again. That the sky you're turning your broom to. My man, put the broom on the floor and sweep for us. You holding the broom in the air like that broom and I thought that's okay, fly. You holding the broom in your air like that. Where you gonna sweep? Air? Mr. Gongler. I noticed that. I thought I put that in there. Let's start with you, Mr. George. Let me hold these two people together for let them think about what's going on here. Let's start with you, Mr. George.
Let me say this. Balu was, I think, senator during the early regime.
Right.
And the other day he was on AU campus. He spoke at the University Library, and I followed him. And you asked some question about why in government. That's the senator. He spoke against this thing. He raised issue, and even went to find to say that the early regime was corrupt. He said by her own admission. She said that's one thing she failed to tackle corruption in the government. So I don't want to come to say where was he. The question is, what are we doing going forward? And you are saying, where was he? Or we have to go to the United States to fight corruption or to raise issue for us? Here is the thing. If people get in the street and demonstrate for 1 week, some of you people say they go against the Constitution, which of the Constitution gave every Liberian the right to assemble. And if the government is not going in the direction, they have the right to ask them to resign. But if we start that in Liberia, you will be one of those why you can't wait for election. If there's any uprising, why you can't wait for election? You're going to hijack democracy. So when people are appealing to the United States, it's in good faith because we don't want to take to the street again and you start complaining. And the only thing that government in Liberia can listen to is the United States government. It's the United States government. You're talking about what are we not government? You government, you can't even run your own system. Yeah, George, they're talking about that the sanction will not have any impact on the election. You think people are serious? People who serious will not speak like that. Because if only you know what this sanction has done to you or the country, and you're speaking like that, then it tells you that our people, the government, is now ready to fight corruption. So going to the U.S. Embassy, I fully support it, just to reinforce that we don't want no trouble in Liberia again. Because if we join the street, people say, oh, you don't want to respect the Constitution. You want to hijack power. So to go to the United States, just to put more pressure on the government. That's all the people are doing. And it is their fundamental rights. You may disagree with them, but it is their right. Councillor Gonglo, why come on Ellen? He had disagreement. He resigned. And so he resigned all throughout. Nobody from the past government or the present government has raised any issue that, hey, when he was serving in capacity, he was corrupt or he does so. Nobody has raised those issues. So if he goes to the embassy, it's correct. And if the we are there government thing, now any of the people got something to them, then they can raise it. But other than that, that's the only place we can go.
Okay.
Only understand that people from Liberia can listen to government official, citizenry, they can listen to. So people go in there, I employ them go in there, and to put more pressure on the we are there government. Because we are is not serious about fighting corruption. This guy is not serious.
Okay.
So if you need any other person to put pressure on, it's the U.S. government.
Okay. Mr. So, let's go with you. These two gentlemen will be the last.
So wait a minute. Who is asking this question? Where was he?
I did.
Where was he? Who said roll? Where was he? Somebody said roll. Somebody said roll.
Look, now he's coming in. He's coming in. He's coming in now to build a real decent.
I didn't call name. I said someone said roll. I think those are the people people who were close to authority, who had a gavel to effect changes, to make democracy work, to proportionate the wealth of the country. They were heavily paid. They were involved into decision making of the country. Now turning around to reinvent the wheel. Those are the people we should be asking, where was he? Look, Balu, I had an opportunity and I believe you were on that program. He has never backed down in the past, and he's a guy who loves to be before the camera. I mean, very skillful, very articulate. There is something about him that captured the imagination of his political way of living or his political lifestyle. He was very vocal in the past. The thing here about it now, is he coming and maybe say they are the gonglo that they can confirm that with us. Is he coming with ain't? Is he moving in the way of Tier 1 gonglo? So we gotta watch up to see who are those people he gonglo to is bringing. I'm not sure whether the same broom he brought to the states here or how many of those brooms that they have. They get a maybe special warehouse, whether that's the same broom way that he went with. I just don't know. But the thing here is, I think that's the part of the beauty of democracy. So when you see democracy, when people are speaking and expressing their concern, their view in a safer context, in an organized fashion, that's what we want to see happening. Not just people who expressing or who saying things and the insulting or the using to words that because they just lack of ideas, people who resort into those sort of situation. But Balu, I can tell you, he was very vocal. He says some strong things against Helen Johnson Sirleaf. He's not a guy who can really keep quiet. So we'll wait and see. Ultimately, maybe seeing him within a close proximity of Councillor Tiawan Gongo, who is also expressing his desire for the overall office here. There's something fascinating. We're watching to see how close they're going to be for two of those guys to just be in line to appear before the embassy there outside of Monrovia or within the heartbeat of Monrovia. That is quite fascinating. So what is the conversation? Those are things I'm going to be saying, and how far we're going to see him working closely with Tiawan Gongo. Was it just a one-time phone call to show out there to be in solidarity to what they were doing? I don't know. I don't want to be judgmental on that, but I can say he was very forceful. He has been forceful in the past, and I don't think he's going to keep quiet.
Let's hear from Sissy. Perhaps Sissy can enlighten us more on this here, because I'm not going to say he's representing that group right now, but perhaps he might have some knowledge, inside knowledge, if I may say so. If not, Sissy, so what say you on this?
Well, so first thing though, y'all keep talking about our broom. Mr. To, the Dr. VP, he's from the Unity Party. Did they have a rooster? What happened to the rooster? They ate it or it ran away. Okay, but I think
oh my goodness.
I was just wait. See, I'm talking about our broom. Let me just ask that question. Did Ellen take the rooster with her and give it a job or just the Dr. VP still got it? But on a serious note though, Tiawan Gongo and the movement that supports Tiawan Gongo stands for having people that believe in what Tiawan has laid out as his vision for the nation to coalesce around the vision, not around the man. We're not coalescing around Tiawan. We're coalescing around the vision that he carries out. And Tiawan himself has said that if we can find anybody else who is capable of implementing the vision, Tiawan does not have to be elected, as long as the vision is implemented. And so to have people like the former senator coming on and see that this is a place that him and Tiawan might agree, it makes sense. You had a cross section of Liberians that came up over there. Look, let's be very serious for a minute. This whole thing about every time you question the CDC government about some ills they've done, and they come out and say, but what happened? You didn't talk the last time. I have to say, because I didn't speak the last time, that means as a Liberian, I have forfeited my rights to speak now. Just because I didn't speak yesterday doesn't mean I can't speak today. If that was the case, we won't be celebrating Paul in the Bible today, because he was Saul and prosecuting people back then. And so if we are religious people, we can't be picking and choosing. And so my point here is that when we ask questions like that, we tend to legitimize wrong in our society. The CDC government promised us change for hope. Was it hope for change or change? Either way, some kind of thing for something. And since they've been in power, they told us that everybody else was the devil. You cannot come back now every time we charge you for doing wrong and you say, oh, but the devil did it before. Yeah, we came to you for salvation. You promised us salvation. We've come to you. We've come to listen to the Reverend Dr. Bekube preach to us. And we want to hear the sermon from the Reverend Dr. Bekube. We've come to be baptized. Except what we've realized is baptism in wrongs, is baptism in corruption, is baptism in death that are not investigated. It's baptism in sleeping with people trying to give them a job. Don't hold me responsible. I'm citing Maba Malu. He said it. If you fail, go to your own man. I'm just citing my sources as an educator. When I say things, I cite them, right? And who's supposed to now believe you? That are supposed to believe you when your own usually for going to say you can't keep it for you no more because your stepson washing your car with Moet. So my problem here is the CDC through the Reverend Dr. Bekube came to us at Fokeklo Glate Church and preached to us the gospel, and we believe and we elected him. Just so now for you to come at the end of the day and tell us, oh, the sermon I preached to you was wrong. Yo, come on, man. Y'all stop making this thing. If you came to convert us, we've been converted. Don't take us back to Egypt. We left Egypt already. Take us to the promised land. Except they don't have a promised land. Oh, sorry. They got it at Jamaica Resort where you can go and buy weed.
Jesus Christ. Folks, when I open my big mouth and say these young people are sophisticated nowadays, they're educated and sophisticated. These are just an example. So CDC, I've been telling you, y'all go to school, and so y'all can face the music correctly. You're there when you're ready to speak the English, put all the adjectives together and dump it, then sound come out because you think that's a good English. It's a joke. And I've been saying this over and over. You can't sit in there and think you say you're speaking when you put all the big words are all adjectives. And some of them don't even belong in the same group of sentences, but they just wasted over there. Oh, so you always learn. Come on, listen to me. Like, what say you, analyst? And then I can turn it over to any of you. Go ahead.
Yes, like Cesar said, and so
like what? Like analyst. At this time, it's too early for somebody to say analyst.
I said, like Cesar said.
Yeah, I understand that. That's the one that giving me a little bit of heartburn here.
Okay.
So who cares? You got an heartburn.
So
Jesus.
Senator Baru's statement, if many of us read the communication by Cummings, he said it squarely that on the corruption and the sanction, opposition and Liberians will stand together on it. And I think it was from that background, or among many things that what Cesar said, that I mean, it is about the idea. Councillor Gonglo is pushing the idea about transparency. The U.S. government, something we could not do for ourselves as a country, with all of the anti-graft institutions within our country, we could not hold ourselves accountable even in the wake of McGill public, confession. It took courage, fortitude for the U.S. government to sanction them and provide, to an extent, information relating to their actions for which the financial intelligence unit, forced their account. So I think any meaningful, reasonable, patriotic Liberian, I'm not talking about the patriotism that was spoken by Koji that will market patriotism, but I'm talking about patriotism in where you love your country, where you want better things to happen for your country, where you want people to be accountable, because taking those resources for the country, there will not be resources to take care of the drainage system within the Dole community that gets flooded every time. It will not going to bring Bushwick High School to a reputable high school that ministers and official government can send their children, where the poor people can also go, and it will not create the necessary resource envelope that would see road connectivity. So whenever people steal, definitely Liberians have to come together. And the action by Senator Balu and Councillor Gonglo, they are all in the right direction. We look forward to seeing more political actors in such a forum. We look forward to seeing more Liberians coming out to appreciate the U.S. government for the action they are taking, and where applicable, they should bring about more sanction on notoriously corrupt officials of government.
Thank you. So let's go to you. You say you wanted to have a discussion on the reply of the reply.
You know, I'm enjoying the whole thing that's going on. I said though, in order for me to be able to adequately discuss the reply of the reply, I need another music from my brother Eugene Fagon. We both went to the same high school, by the way. We went to St. Dominic, according to what he says. We got to check the records. But so I need another. But on a serious note, him and I today driving in the car, and we had Spoon TV on. We're listening to Kev Hassan and George Solo.
George Solo.
And it was hilarious. If it didn't pertain to seriousness that's happening in our country, it would have been a sitcom. But here is the point. Remember the last time we were on here discussing this letter, and I said the president made a mistake by responding from the presidency to the letter of Cummings. Now he's elevated Cummings to equal status. And so now when Cummings sent a response to his response, he has to respond. There's no way now you can say, oh, my man, you can't do that, right? You know, you didn't play the mess sloppy, slap a man by the mess sloppy, you got sloppy again. And so for me, I'm waiting for how many iterations will go before one of the letters come out signed by 12 mistakenly instead of putting the president on the looking for.
Okay.
So I will let the AC man have fun with that whole letter thing because it's right in their backyard.
Okay. Annalise, you said you have something you want to bring on the table, and then we're going to go to Mr. George.
Yes, like I said, we need to encourage most of our people here on the election, the calendar of the election, specifically the voter registration that will be taking place starting December 15th. It is important. The only way that Liberians will reduce the level of remittances from the year, except there is a genuine, responsible or caring leadership in our country, or else all of our inboxes, all of you inboxes, because I'm not even part of it right now, I just come in, will be filled with the messages concerning Sendwave, Western Union, and MoneyGram. You need to have a government that is accountable, a government to elevate the different high schools. And so we need to go register to have an impact and provide direction, because we are in a democracy that provides, just what we are seeking. That's one aspect. The last thing I wanted to talk about very quickly is the letter, the response to the response. Like Sister said, what I look to see President Weah do at this time to answer to Mr. Cummings' question as to when will he be available, because Mr. Cummings has already told you that he's available at any time. You just need to, President Weah just need to call the station or the forum and just state whatever time he President Weah wants, and Mr. Cummings will leave up to it so that we can listen to both of them. It is hefty for our democracy. Even if it is a fireside where you just sit around the fire. I mean, just bring independent journalists, cross-court. It could be a very good area for President Weah to sell himself to.
It would be a good place for Weah to sell himself. Isn't it better? Yes, you always had this trap.
No, but
talk about I ever happy on planet Earth.
Go ahead, Mr. So then we'll go to Mr. George.
So here's the thing. But first of all, I want to say a big thank you to one of our prime-time members, Vera Mike Queen Harris, for the digital stars, because that will also help us to make some little cash. But here is the thing. The action by ANC Alexander Cummings was intentional. And it was just unfortunate that bait thrown out there by the ANC folks and the president for them to just dive into it and just swim like that without then taking a second thought. And I said that here recently. In campaign, you have to be very strategic. When politics, when it's at the forwardness, especially where there's a presidential race at stake in a couple of months, you have to be very strategic. And so Cummings and the ANC, they were looking for a side of attractions. You remember, and you have said he is liberal from time to time. He's unknown. They don't know him. So you have to be creative. You have to find a way where you will come out of the picture. I'm not saying that he's not known, but when you say things or when you begin to get in the news cycle, you find out that he has been in the news cycle for quite a while now. So it brings me to the question: where is Joseph Boyka? Joseph Boyka and what his name is? Boyka. But you found out Tiawan now and then. Every other day he holds his broom. I think there were some foreign journalists who were interviewing him, trying to web up corruption and stuff like that. This is what people like. The more appearances you make, the more you make yourself visible. The better you get used to the system, and the better you get accustomed to some of these challenges and questions. It might sound kind of a little bit crazy, you encounter people, but it puts you in a very free position where you will begin to address issue. So it looks like now, if you want to do an objective analysis or what is happening right now, you find out Tiawan Gonglo and Alexander Cummings becoming to be the main opponent. And who knows? They are talking behind the scene. I said that, Sissy will not say that because politicians, they will continue to keep their finger crossed. They will keep pulling up. And this is evidence. Our brother left one here. He fly. He didn't tell her. Now they're sitting down in it's beautiful to living room. My guest today is Friday. Champagne glasses going to be rolling and conversation going to be calling. And believe me, when Sissy leave that plate and Jenenton, Wagner, they will be calling these guys. Hey, guess who are we? I'm with this. Okay, let the conversation continue. Something is in the making. But when a boss, we know.
You're becoming conspiratorial like Mr. Tona. I think you're becoming more liberal.
Mr. Josh, give us what's on your plate. What you think here?
Yeah, let me just add to just respond to reply, what have you. Something that caught my eyes, and this is very serious for President Weah. Mr. Comey accusing of supporting a rebel group. That is very serious. Because there is a man you people have made the injured. He never participated in the war. He was going from, according to something told them, he was going from refugee camp to refugee camp. I don't know how many camps. But I was in for some time, for years. I did not see Joe Weah on that camp. I think he went, those are there went there one time. He didn't get down. They stopped the bus, and that was it. But the people got this, and they have built around him that while we were in the struggle, he was going from camp to camp visiting Liberians. This man never went to any refugee camp that I know of that did something to benefit the children on those camps. Because I think if someone would have told me, or if he did, go to one of them and say, look, let me make some makeshift thing here for the children to be going to school. But nothing like that happened. So, but the people say he was the ambassador. He was going from camp, I don't know that. But that accusation that Mr. Comey leveled against him is something serious. He has to address it. Because that will undercut all this ambassador did not participate in the war. His claim, he had to explain to the Liberian people.
Is it a conspiracy? I hate to intercede because that has been the cry of Yeke Koruba. But then when you ask him, he said that you take into court. Nobody going to take you to court when you have a valid thing or when you, and this is, it's a serious, I mean, I understand that. And a certain lawmaker has been making this accusation. And you see, this is where sometimes the CDC or the ruling establishment, they can push people. Because Koruba is a lawmaker. He's been saying the thing consistently over and over and over. And there seems not to be a challenge coming from the ruling establishment, if not even from the government, but from the party. But all he says, all he tells us, they say that, oh, I'm going to take me to court. Then I will bring my.
Columbus signed on the resolution.
Let Mr. George in. Let Mr. George in. Then we can take it on that. Go ahead, Mr. George.
Issue now, Mr. Cummings has raised the issue. So this is very serious.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the response from President Weah.
Okay.
Because many times, hold on. Because many times when people say support, it can be different form and different shape. He would have given moral support. He would have given financial support. So I want to know, because in one of the interviews, George Weah said he met with somebody in the rebel group at the Model 1. So he has to explain. The second thing that he met with these people under what condition and what was he doing?
Oh boy!
All right, so all right,
George Weah.
Thank you.
Went to Ghana. They say he spoke to Chancellor. He got 25,000. He said,
boy.
"Oh no!" So just back, he said, "I just entered the room and they said he was on the line and said, George, I said he want to speak to me." But we all know that led to putting Joel Howard Taylor on the ticket. And when they asked the former campaign manager of CDC, Dr. Wilson Tappet, he said he could not deny nor confirm it, and we know exactly what that English language means. So now he has been accused by the ANC leader. I'm waiting to see the next response from George Weah on the Model issue.
Thank you. Let's say you were going to say something.
Well, I was going to say that Yeke Koluba has been saying this for a long time, but Yeke Koluba signed on to the resolution to establish the war crime code.
Yeah.
And yes, Mr. So, this is very serious, having been elevated to this level of a political leader, a serious political actor, now making the case. And I want to believe that Alexander B. Cummings, having served in corporate America on a Fortune 500 company, for a Fortune 500 company as a vice president, would not say words that he has not thought about seriously because they have consequences. And so if this were coming from the likes of Solomon George or Yeke Koluba, we can still laugh at it and not give it as much credence. But coming from the man who understood that in his office, just the misplacement of a comma instead of a period can cause a company to lose money on the stock exchange. This is somebody that when he says something, I take it very seriously.
Yeah.
So like Mr. George said, I will be waiting to hear back from the CDC. Because now it's not the time for them to say we can't respond no more because we listen to Kev Hassan today and they try to run over and say, oh, you know, and then now the same level, the man got 7% the last time. Yeah, the man has 7%, you responded to a first response. Now you're accusing you of being a supporter and a financier of the death and destruction of Liberia.
Gentlemen, let me say this here quickly on that. And I'm not here to defend anybody. I'm not a seditious. I'm not even a sympathizer of CDC.
Yeah, about to defend CDC.
Guilty conscience factoring in now.
But I'm here to say the truth. Liberia is not a banana republic. If Kumi has anything, any accusation, it must be backed by evidence. This is a country of law. You can just throw things out there and hope it's
wait, hold on. A country of what? A country of what?
Law.
Can you say that to the auditors, the families of the auditors that died, and the little boss Susulu, that guy that got whooped recently? Can you say that to them, that the law is working for them?
The 3 missing boys.
Yeah,
the fact that I'm a little bit timid. I might be a little bit timid here tonight, but that doesn't mean my Blaku spirit and the spirit of liberal has gone down the hill. No, far from it. Let me just say this here. I'm not going to go through all of that stuff. What I can say to you is that Liberia is not a banana republic. If Kumi has something serious as such, this is not your letter and you're expecting to get reply and then a reply. This is not it. You're bringing up issues. People die, and you're saying that the president perhaps might be responsible for some of those things. Fine. There's a system. Kumi can even take the president to court. There's nothing there to stop it. Kumi can come out. The Libra is on the floor. Well, I'm just saying he's a Liberian.
The president cannot be sued, Mr. So.
Hold on.
No, that told out. That's so. That man. You know what? I don't know who can find a petition. This guy.
Listen. As a citizen, don't you have the right, if you feel that there's certain thing happening and you feel that justice has not been served, can you not take people to court for that?
Not
The
the
Supreme
president.
Court, the
Not
Supreme Court in
not for the
Liberia,
president.
Hold on, hold on,
the
hold
Supreme
on.
Court in Liberia has ruled that you have to have standing.
Okay.
And what would be the standing that Mr. Cummings has to sue?
Mr. Cummings,
Listen.
hold on, Mr.
You
George.
cannot sue the president while he's in office.
Office.
It's not America here.
Of course, it does apply.
That's a-
No,
that's a-
It does apply.
Unless if it is the
Additionally,
law in Liberia, fine.
It is the law in Liberia.
that's what we are saying.
I can take that. But the question was, what would be Mr. Cummings' standing? Mr. Cummings is a Liberian, and every Liberian, as far as I'm concerned, it was affected by this war. That's a standing. I can leave from here now and try to take Prince Johnson to court. I have a standing. I got relatives that were killed. All I have to do
because the charge will have to be, if you murder your relative, then you have a standing. So you have to prove that, not just because he brought a
exactly.
war.
That's the point that I'm making. That's
So how many people have
no,
Prince
but
Johnson?
If Comey is coming up with this kinds of statement, I'm not going to
Mr.
call it
Paul,
ridiculous
If
at this
Cummings make
point.
this kind of statement, it is upon the president.
No.
Exactly.
I don't want my president to reply to this because this is not one of the
Samson.
Let me reply to other things that they want to reply to.
The point here is the point. All four of you now. Let me get ready. Look, the point here is this. If Comey gonna come out and make a statement like this, which first of all, it's ridiculous to come out of Comey at this time and try to turn people hurt into a political talk. That is a cheap political shot, and I resent that. I resent it as a Liberian. Hold on. Let me finish my statement. I will let you talk.
Senator, people heard it's been political.
No, I understand that. Comey is not part of the. He's not part of the representative to talk all kind of nyama thing and get away with it. Comey, he's a political leader. He's a political leader. And if you're going to come out and use this, why was this statement never brought up before? Not the political.
The same.
The liberal is on. Now the political season is starting. The political season is starting. Now Comey will come in and turn people cry. And Liberian people cry. Mr. Central Right. This is what you guys do. You like to interrupt me. But tonight, I'm running the show. I don't want to mute any of you. I don't want to mute. I'm going to act like who usually mute people. So anyhow, the point here, before I let you guys talk, Comey is not turning people hurt into a political gimmick. That is unacceptable. If Comey is very serious, Comey should push the line of war crime court. Continue to fight about it.
Is he not pushing that?
Tell the president. Don't come and tell the president. I believe. Please spare me that.
Let me respond to Mr. Toh very quickly.
He's my good friend tonight. Can I come in? Okay, go ahead. I don't know who is.
I'll finish your comment, Mr. So. But firstly, when the question is asked, why now, with respect to Mr. Cummings' communication, the question should be answered both ways. Why out of the cry, a lady was found and her colleague, workmate, found in the car, dead, and President, we have first statement was to insinuate that girlfriend and boyfriend of the city were involved in certain things. He didn't respond to any major national issue until of late when he said he was lifting Mr. Cummings' communication up to give him what he deserved. Now Mr. Cummings has come out with another allegation against President Weah. The onus is on President Weah to respond and inform Liberians about what he knows. You cannot say because the man earned 7%. We are not talking about putting human beings together. What we are computing on is ideas, debate. That's what they both of them will be computing on.
How do you consider 250 people dead as an idea?
No. It's not. Let me just.
You're talking about the 7%. They say the man got 7%, so they can't debate it.
Yeah,
no, that kind of comment. That's not coming from me.
But what I'm saying is that we are not debating about the heights of the Liberian people. That's why Mr. Cummings himself said publicly on other platforms that he supports the World Economic Crimes Court in order for people to account for their deeds, and not just for people to account, but people who are also being accused falsely to have that day for the names.
But do you guys seriously expect the president to come and answer
So wait a minute, Samson,
About Liberians
or have done anything in the war? No, there's a process. You can't circumvent that process because to satisfy a political career because you want to be president. That is
you're not being
this guy is not doing us favor tonight, and this is the problem we've been dealing with from time to time, and it seems there will be an endless stuff here as long as this guy here. Look, the burdens rest solely on the president and his party. This is a serious accusation by a person who is seeking the higher office of the land. He is using the same similar words by his partisans. I mentioned here Yeka Koluba. So where is the correlation here? Has Yeka Koluba passed on some sort of, he said he has something in his possession. I don't know. The authenticity of that is the court of competent jurisdiction will determine that when they ask him to produce his evidence. Now, remember, he is from within that same political bloc. Now you have a major political actor who is seeking for the higher office of the land, accusing the president, and you say is nothing. The burden now is on the shoulder of the president to take him to task or his party. This is the laziness of this political institution because the party right now up to this, I don't know whether there's a statement out. If your standard barrier is attacked, and maybe it's out there, I haven't seen it, so I don't want to just draw the definitive conclusion on that. And you can't have a simple statement, press statement, maybe 1 or 2 paragraphs to just condense everything, the accusations of Cummings. And you, the liberal, you come here and telling us, well, they should bring a proof to you that you the proof of control. Samson told from total. Don't deceive our audience. The president is being a president does not mean you are above the law. This is a painful situation. Things that are coming. Hold on.
Accused by the law. He's not trying to circumvent.
But he is
trying to defend the president. Far from it. But I'm a liberal.
That's what you're doing.
I can't let you guys to try to violate the civil right and the constitutional right of a president. He's a president, but he's also a Liberian. We have to defend that.
Mr. Toe, you are defending the president. The accusations are coming level against the president. It's up to the president to tell Mr. Cummings, I challenge you. Provide me this proof.
So let me ask a simple question. Should the president or the ruling party, because it's just not only let's take a holistic approach of this whole thing here. He's the president of the Republic of Liberia. He's a standard bearer of the ruling party. He's being allegedly accused of something. So let me ask you, should we just sweep it under the rug? Nobody should say anything about it because he's president? Is that what you're saying, Samson?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
What I'm saying here is Comey has the right to make these kinds of statement, accusation, whatever it is, but also let Comey and his people recognize that the president, even besides being president, George Weah, he's a Liberian. So if a Liberian is being accused, you can't just say, I'm accusing you, can't reply. Yeah,
he's just not a Liberian. He's not an ordinary Liberian. He's the president.
But relax, Mr. Toe.
Wow.
If Mr. Weah had not responded to the first the first op-ed.
You can't combine the two. They're two different.
It's the same thing.
They're two different. They're two. Kumi was approaching that.
It was a continuation. It is a continuation. There you go. It's a regional. The man hauled rope and saw bush. Now you can't say no. We can't do it no more. And to Mr. Soul points, right now the CDC cannot be the one to respond. The president took upon it to elevate it to the presidency. So now the presidency has to respond. And if he doesn't respond, then it hangs there. It will stick there. We hang there until he responds. Because Yeka Koluba has been saying there for a long time. And they haven't done anything about it. They let it sit there. So to Mr. Soul point, I'm here thinking, well, for Alexander Cummings, a major political actor, knowing fully well that if this statement comes back to be unfounded, will affect his chances to win an election or be taken seriously. To make such a statement means he has something. So now the president got to come out and categorically deny it. And then the owners will be on Mr. Cummings now to say, well, the man has denied it. So now
exactly. So Sese, let's flip the coin here. Maybe the liberal, let be some senses in the liberal here. Whereas if Mr. Cummings comes out today, he as a person who is seeking for the land, and all of a sudden we hear tomorrow he appears on a press conference. Next week there will be an incursion in Liberia. How will you treat that statement?
First thing, all four of you come out the other night and try to advise, somehow offer an advice to the president. Don't try to elevate. Don't try to do this.
But this is the same thing we were talking about. So he should avoid it.
Now he's listening to all of you guys and said the good people in LPR are
listen to me no more. Listen to me no more.
He said the good people in LPR, all of them conservative people on LPR, had advised me that I shouldn't elevate. And now he's been quiet.
No, but Mr. To, the point here is that President Weah asked specific questions that require response.
He said, "Where were you?"
So Mr. Kumia comes to say where he was and where Weah was.
So let me, like I said, I'm a liberal. Let me give you guys something here tonight. I'm not trying to hide behind anything. That response from Weah, where he mentioned the fact that when Liberians were dying, Kumi was not around. That opens the door for Kumi to come in. Now the point here is this. That doesn't mean the man should continue to open the door. He has the right to close the door if he wants.
Why are you opening the door in the first place?
Mr. So he's the president of the Republic of Liberia. The citizen concern. It was a concern that was expressed by Kumi, and he addressed that concern. And that doesn't mean Kumi should come out. And he's not a judge. He's not a courthouse. You said they are heard. Please, that you heard. I heard that what we eat. Kumi hearing something that what we eat.
But and when the CDC started, they heard that the men were in Atlanta living good life and not helping people. So the man just saying what you were doing. And oh, by the way, I also know what you were doing. Let me ask you where you were. I will tell you where you were. So he helped your way assignment. Get to him where you was.
In fact, it was lying because that time Kumi was in Nigeria. Kumi was not in Atlanta at that time that they stated in their document. Kumi was in Nigeria. So that's just another fabrication.
I just waiting for 12 response to the response. Me, I'm hoping that 12
I truly believe
that's the office of the president should respond. This is where the press secretary
information. The Minister of Information.
The presidential press secretary.
They can't do that now, though. They can't do that. Having elevated the first letter to the office of the presidency, you cannot, this one that accuses you of war crime, you cannot then take this one outsource it to a lower level.
The president, all he has to do is, if he wants to respond, bring the war crime. We're ready.
No. Mr. To.
He got to it. No, you know what the president will do though? There will be a video, a music release coming out recently, or there will be a preaching of Clone Church. He will either release a music to respond to this, or he will do it in a sermon of Clone Gelatin Family Fellowship International.
Mr. To, stop this work that the commission bring it. It's not coming responsible to bring work. George Weah during his campaign promised the Liberian people that no Liberian blood will be wasted for nothing. That means you are going to make sure.
He's still standing by. He hasn't relayed on that.
Hold on. That the war crime code were going to come to Liberia. I think the person came from Western Nigeria. Someone he came one night at the airport to ask him. He said, "Let me ask you people, you want development or war crime code?" So this man is not serious.
So let's change the topic here. Maybe the liberal here. Where is Ambassador Boyka in all of this thing?
Ambassador Boyka is in Zetule.
Wait till Tuesday when we have George Lobo on here.
Where his position? George Lobo, he running.
Because he's much more involved with Dr. Boyka, and he will be able to.
You added an extra doctorate on it today.
Yeah. The more quiet he becomes, the more presidential he looks. And Dr. Buckeye Judge Lobo will try to enlighten us. As he told you guys here the other day that Dr. Buckeye has been making his round, and he's been appreciated all over West Africa by West African leaders. So Dr. Buckeye is not just sitting down in Liberia and hoping to.
So he want to raise money.
It doesn't matter what he's raising. The thing is, he's not waiting for American government to give sanctions so he can get a voice. Let's put it that way.
Look, let me tell you,
Dr. Buckeye is not waiting for sanctions to get a voice in Liberia.
I've been keeping all my things about the Dr. VP because I want to wait till Tuesday. I'm really waiting for George Lobo to come. So I don't want him to be watching and I say my things and then he come, with the.
I want you to hold on to that.
But here's my advice to you, though, Mr. Toe, because you keep giving the VP too many doctorates. All he has to do is go to one of these commencements and speak, and we'll give him a doctorate. So you don't have to make it up. So we got one from UMU a few days again. So get me the VP, go get one.
Those are going to be a fake.
Not invite him because you will not be able to pay the tuition. All the invite is given to George where it's for the children to get a tuition paid.
But that is corruption, though. That is corruption because the president.
How is it corruption?
Money coming from that money.
How is it corruption? The man taking money from his own pocket to pay.
His own pocket. He cannot tell us that he keep from his own pocket. He's taking government money that was not appropriated.
How do you know that?
Because he has not told us. Jay had to tell us that the TV in your hall, he paid for it when he renovated all his mansions, and he hasn't declared his access. So the fact that he hasn't declared access, I can assume that he's stealing. You won't prove me wrong. He's declared access. They don't say you're not stealing.
But here's the thing here. The president is the resources of Liberia. They budgeted money for the use of the office of the president. So when George will go around to pay, it's not his personal money. It's the Liberian public resources money he's using to pay the tuition. And in return, that is indirect political bribery.
It's campaigning.
Yeah.
It's campaigning.
Pay to play.
Yes, that is directly because he are going to think that this is something cool. He are going to every time I go to invite to the commencement, he go and say, this class, I pay all your tuition off.
But the thing is, how is that even fair? There are so many universities in Liberia that have commencement. So the ones that didn't invite you, they don't get to get a share in the pie of the republic. So it's only people that invite you that give you a PhD that get to get a share in their pie. How is that fair? How is that not pay to play? Has that not bribery? Has that not campaigning?
That's why I'm telling you that's corruption. Because it means that if you don't invite him, that's graduation class tuition will not.
I can't help you guys.
And from my end, I think, like I was telling Sister today, look, you don't have to go through a specific situation before you can gain experience from it. And when I look at the likes of Winston Tapper, the class that Winston Tapper graded for the University of Liberia, including my former teacher, Anthony Henrys, who teaches auditing in Liberia. That class, every single person that graded for that class from the University of Liberia got job. You understand? So when you, instead of making the children to learn how to fishing, you want to provide them a short-term solution that would not even last up to the time of the election. Because many of them, they were used, when you graduate from university, new day, and you're in a new environment. First thing you take that 500, go buy one or two suits here and there, you eat that money, will be done. And then up to next year, September, you have not gotten job.
No, September too fast, 6 months.
Yeah, it's not getting irritated. And it's
Mr. So, is that video you want to play for us?
It's not going to help. It's not going to help President.
Well, first, I think what they're talking a lot of hurting you.
Yeah, he needs to be focused. And I can be very honest with you. Even at this point in time, right now, as we are speaking, it is not still late for President. We have to do the honorable thing. Not resign, but to govern with ideas. Even if you will not be elected.
Why would you say this man being in office 5+? And you said with idea, what do you think he's been around Republic, he's been running?
Oh, but
The man told you in that letter. He told you in that letter. Let me finish. Because of my leadership, he told Cummings in our letter. And when I said told you, that's right. He told Cummings in our letter. Because of my leadership, when your friend there accused you of fingering document, you had the opportunity under my leadership to go to and clear yourself. Due process was giving you.
So before him, there was.
And now you want to say you never what idea you want you to bring in again?
So before George Weah, there was no due process. He invented due process.
Besides that, besides that, in your many times, besides that, the court process that he's boasting of, even though, like Cece said, due process had been existed long before he could be born. So even though he also gave himself the best president, where the just the best president ever. We know all those sort of things. But Mr. Weah, governance star is what I got his 3 close senior officials to be sanctioned as we speak, and more to be coming. So if you are doing it perfectly, that's the result that we are counting on. If you are not doing it better, he can still improve. That's what I'm trying to say. He can still improve by taking rightful steps.
All right, Mr. So, any video before we open the line to the audience?
Yeah, before this, I mean, there are some of the things that were happening, but what I really feel hurt about now, it's just unnecessary drama unfolding in the country. I mean, ahead of 3 major elections, the two both lower and upper, and then presidential, we are not having the sort of conversation we're supposed to be having, because all of these politicians on purpose has created some sort of distraction to the Liberian people. We are not asking the question. They are not making themselves available. Letter versus letter, soundbite versus soundbite, Remy versus Remy. Who's going to be disadvantaged here? It's us, the ordinary citizens. The electorate is going to be disadvantaged at the end of the day. Again, we're going to hold ourselves responsible. We need to be in charge of this narrative. The broom man, the road man, the Bekube, and all of these people,
and the rooster people. Where don't forget it.
I don't even know what a rooster where is here right now. I don't know which country. Yeah. On a serious note, we're not having the conversation, so we will be out for a surprise again, because these guys have just created unnecessary drama just for us to be distracted. But this is something that caught my attention. I don't know how it happens. And I don't know who is going to advantage and disadvantage. Let's watch and see. Let's watch and see here. Let's see here.
What picture you on? I want to talk for me. What's your name? Jay Kude from Transport TV. We are here, we are going to deny Maybe she wants to support the ANC because of so we are saying she wants to support that mission that she's taking the money carry to ANC. She don't want to think about it.
Which money? What is the issue?
To read that one, what do I get the money for? You get $4 million USD. USD get the money to start the money.
Which sector of the civil community that she needs to settle? War affected. Then tell us what happened when you came.
So, this year, gentlemen, I mean, every other day when you looking up to your country to see something of these things happening, who does it advantage and disadvantage? At the end of the day, who is in the driving seat? Every other day, some sort of protest, some sort of citizens are expressing their grievances of something not being right, but we just still can't get the answers to these questions.
That is a good leadership of Mr. Toll referred to, of George Weah. That's one example of good leadership in Liberia. That's one example of George Weah. The government, Mr. So, it is sad, it's pathetic that after 14 years of civil war, Honor Ellen, there was corruption. But we saw some movement. Today, it's like we are just stuck. Because every week in Liberia is one group demonstrating, roadblock. I think 3 days ago, in Birmingham, they go rich. They put black the road between, I think, Monrovia and Birmingham there. They put black the road. They say they wanted the retirement money the company had paid, the money to government, and government is now releasing the money. In fact, they were taking the people's name and putting ghost name to pay them. The road to Birmingham was black. I think 3 days ago, it was black by the people. Good leadership on George Weah. This is a serious problem. But again, there is a problem with our people. Popularity and country. Popularity and country. So most of the people, they take popularity over the country. What do I mean by that? But that is that because everything is George Weah popular. George Weah, George Weah. Instead of look at what this man is doing for the country. And the people, they will blame everybody around George Weah, but except for George Weah. Everything that Samuel Toure, Mangale, Jefferson Koji, this person is not Weah. And I find it difficult, I cannot comprehend because this is the man. George Weah is the captain of this ship. He got lieutenants. If they are not performing, why he can't move them? But then again, the last time I listened to George Weah, and that you see me so I don't follow people. People sometimes when they speak in front of them, he said that when people they are not, let me put it this way, they are not appreciated, they don't tell people thank you. Then he went to say most of the people that are working in my government today, they were people that are paid their tuition. Those are some of his words. So when you put these things together, you see why this man cannot fire anybody that's doing something wrong in the government. It's like he has a bond with them. So it makes the country difficult to move forward. Because if a leader is decisive, wants to move the country forward, then of course he must hold his lieutenant accountable. But there's no accountability in Georgia government. No accountability. And when there's no accountability, it creates room for stealing, nepotism. This is why it's happening in the government. Because everybody says, wait a minute, that's my buddy. That's my friend. And this is why you see the country is like this. The young man there said something about the lady who was in charge taking $4 million to go camping for ANC. Can you imagine how this young man got to know the UN gave $4 million? And if the UN is going to give $4 million, you don't think we'll see in the papers to settle people? You don't think it will be in the paper to say this X number of dollars were given? But again, this is how the lies, the rumor spread in Liberia. And people will take it and run with it. And that is also dangerous for the country. But this is the situation we find ourselves in. Government will never respond to any of the accusation. The people in the street demonstrating, the Black Rose, they say a certain thing. Nobody from the government side will come to respond. No action will be taken. They will say, it's this mentality that Liberian people 2 days they will leave it, it will die down. And that's what
I think Mr. George
in the government.
I think Mr. George is making a good point. I believe, and I'm speculating at this point. The reason why, because these people start blocking roads and what have you. Who were gonna give an individual $4 million in Liberia? without the government being involved. And I believe it's the same kinds of nonsense they did over there during the July 26th celebration. They decided to sit by and let these people do this kind of stuff because the rumors is that they're going to take $4 million and then support ANC and Alexander Cummings. And once it's against you against my opponent, I'm also for it. That kind of attitude is not it's not going to be helping us at all. And remember, you heard what that man said. These are young people, war affected young people. So that means many of them participated in the war as child soldiers. So you cannot play with these kinds of stuff and just sit by and play politics with it. This is just not the way to go, because these things eventually, if you don't put a stop to it now, it's going to cripple you as the government as well. Because even if you succeed tomorrow, you let this start snowballing, and these people will not get that $4 million, and you succeed as a president tomorrow. Say you win re-election. Do you have $4 million to give to these people? How are you gonna put it back in the bottle? You're not going to. And then as a result, you're gonna start showing your ugly hand by being rough on these kids, and it's gonna affect you. This is the time to put stop to it, because this is no truth to it. So I think that video demonstrate the challenges we're going to face in Liberia.
Yeah, that video, number one, I cannot, deny or state for the fact that 4 million exists. Yeah, because I don't know. Sometimes the way the money in our country, the way they distribute, the revenue envelope is based on how they can control different actors at different level to get the money back into the pocket. So I cannot really.
Yeah, but analyst, $4 million, that's not small money.
And then from the UN, for
Yeah.
that part, it even say much more because it will be a public information and then it will be in the newspaper and what have you. So
Right.
it doesn't really give it the taste of the news that is meant. But the educational part I wanted to state is that the allegation level against the Tom PBE, that she collecting the money to bring it to ANC is that the Tom PBE used to be the ANC physically challenged and disabled league head. The Tom PBE resigned that position and she had moved to the Congress for Democratic Change as full-fledged member of that political institution. And she support President Weah, which is all on her page. But I think what the guys were trying to do, because she came for ANC before, and they want to buy sympathy from the president so that it appears, that the money that you have allocated, all the money that have been provided by international grouping, this person is taking it to support somebody who is against their interest to get the president attention. I think that's what they are trying to do. But on the overall, it is not hefty for our country on an everyday basis
Right.
that will wake up and it's about politics, it's about stealing, it's about, teachers must protest before they can get paid, and students have to protest before that university can be open. The university will be leaking, and then official government, Sametua, McGill have to go to UL campus. I can't understand what kind of country we have when the university has full authority. They got people stars, they got budget line, and they can be able to prioritize their own thing. And then you have to have minister with all the. Just too much for our country, and that's why when we come on a kind of platform, we have to be honest to provide the alternative view, not just because we want power, but because it should be the kind of decent way of running government, by anybody.
Okay. All right, sister, you want to chime in that, or
to answer the question Mr. So asks, who benefits and at whose detriment? I think that's the piece I'm stuck with. When I see videos like these, I immediately put on my educator's hat and start to think about people are gullible and easily used if they are made to beg for their day-to-day sustenance. And if they don't know any better, again, remember, you don't know what you don't know. And so when I see this thing, it comes back to what Mr. So was saying earlier. I start to hold myself responsible in a way that I'm on this platform that easily gets 400 views live on a night. And we haven't been able to change the narrative. We are here running after the same red meat that gets put in the public space. How are we changing the mindsets of our people, our disadvantaged youth, our youth who participated in combat and have not been de-traumatized or have not had access to counseling? Because when you start to look at these and you think about, well, are there people in the establishment trying to change the narrative around with this letter going back and forth? Now we can say, oh, but the ANC president in government trying to steal money and come in here. I think that, he's a Mr. Clean hand. You're stealing our money and going somewhere, right? So I think, Mr. So, to answer your question, who suffers is Liberia. Liberia suffers because those people are voters. They are registered voters. They are going to make decisions on who makes laws in a country and who heads the executive. Yet they don't have the ability or the chance or the capability to do basic research and find out if what they have been wined and released to go carry out, if it's factual or not. You can't blame them again. They only know what they know. So Liberia suffers. Who gains? Very few greedy politicians. And so what is the responsibility of us all who sit on these platforms as talking heads is we have to start now having this education, talking to our people. Like you talk about the UN, and Mr. To talk about the UN, not just giving money or not being in the papers. Like helping our people on how do you do research, that people don't just wind you up for a cup of rice and they release you in the streets. But again, when people are destitute, when people are hungry, when people are not afforded access to quality education, this is what happens. It is not their fault. I think it's upon us to start to teach our brethren and our sisters on the way forward.
Okay. Mr. So, any other video, or should I go ahead and open it up now? No sound from you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah, you can open the line for a few minutes. We get to go, and then we can play some kind of weekend video before we go.
Okay. Tuesday program, and I know Lobo is not here, but I'm going to contact him as well. I think the intent was, and I'm just spilling the bean. The intent was it's not going to be like a debate, but it's because all three of you are very young, and the future of Liberia solely rests.
Lpr Michael Cohen, the fixer. This guy, I don't know, he afraid for people to get in trouble or
whatever.
The men go back to Liberia.
Let me just say this: all three of you are young, and the future is Liberia. And the fact that you guys are young is not just enough, but you guys are highly educated, and so sophisticated as well. And so the future is in your hand. And I truly believe that once the type of conversation starts and start having some serious dialogue, that even if you agree to disagree politically on policy issues, but the fact that you would then, whatever, for example, if you were successful in gaining state power, you can call upon on any of your friend who is perhaps on the opposite side of the aisle. But the fact that you know that person is not against you personally, but that the person is as you correctly stated here, Sissy, grappling over ideas and own their ideas, that person it'll be very easy for you to reach out to that person and say, look, we don't agree on this, but you have expertise in this area, and perhaps we can utilize whatever expertise you have. And I think that's the kinds of thing that we need to discuss. And that's come Tuesday. We're going to talk politics a lot.
Something, Mr. Todd, I think you want to put your number. My line is not connected, so you don't want people.
I put your number up? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I thought that was my number.
Yeah, you're making peace.
I thought that was 433. Sorry. So what's my number?
I say that be careful how you talk.
Yeah. I think we need to.
He need about your e-nation.
We organize an honorary program for him to retire.
Should I be checking on e-nation website for your name?
No. Even if they call me, they're not gonna get nothing from me.
Are you going to the library airport authority?
No, I'm not.
No. So I'm gonna take you the road to Rafi.
That road. People are loading a lot of stuff up for me that I'm gonna do a whole show on that. It's sad. It's sad. That road.
I just came back. I got a boatload of videos and pictures on that road. If you want them, I can send them.
I'm gonna be doing a show on here. Let me put my number up, folks. I thought I had my number up here, but not. Look on the.
But besides that, I think Sunday we are hosting the National Vice Chair for International Affairs, ANC. So, Mr. ANC analyst, in fact, I'm going to reach out to Victoria because I'm not going to be like a laborer and just put that questions on the road.
What time are you doing it?
Let me confirm with you guys tomorrow. Sunday. Let me go. What's that?
No, just tell the time he got some little thing happening on Sunday. So not little thing, but major thing happening on Sunday. But yeah, he wants to know the time.
So anybody that want to call my number is out
I will
there.
talk to you guys after the evening readjustment. Maybe I can do that if the case be,
Why don't we do this, guys? I don't see any phone coming in. So why don't we just call it quit for the night?
Yeah.
Because we've been out here now for quite a while this Friday evening.
And let me ask people. Did you ever came across that story from the National Fishery?
Yes.
About the director?
Yeah, but it has already been debunked by the World Bank and the car dealership themselves.
So how much, I didn't see the debunk, but how much that car cost?
I think it was some 70-some more thousand, I think.
Oh, was that the actual car though, or was that just a model car taken and then?
No, it's an actual car. The World Bank, according to the story, the World Bank authorized them to buy the SUV for her because she will be traveling from place to place.
She was approaching the rural area.
Yeah, but the story was that she purchased a car and decided to modify it, making it like a bulletproof or whatever kinds of modification that they say she did. But the World Bank said, yes, we authorize it. It's our fund, number one. And second, the car dealer said the car was already in the showroom. And when they put in the bid, the car dealer, every one of them, they have to put in the bid, somebody have to win before you sell the car. So, but this is the difference between Liberians and international group. You see how fast the World Bank able to respond. When that story came up, immediately World Bank came out and the car dealership came out as well. Whereas if it was just Liberia, the people know that they will soon find. In the meantime, you have people to continue to talk about this over and over without you trying to set the record straight immediately. And I think that's the difference. Folks, let me just say thank you very much tonight. I know ANC analysts over there visiting. Let's
do this for our guys. I think you loved it. That's your patron. Politicians, they're quick to invent new words, and that's a new thing now. Let's see here. That's what happens when things fall apart and politicians will enhance one another.
Listen, Baba, ask anybody when you see Bana you.
But what this and I stand by what I said. Not stupid. Not stupid. That means you want to campaign for your stepson to wash a car.
No way.
Champagne. That means you want to campaign
No.
for using language to eat lobster.
No.
And he's showing the PB chicken and driving at the 8,000 car. That's stupid.
No way.
That's stupid.
Nobody's stupid.
That's stupid. That's stupid. That's stupid.
Oh my
That's stupid.
goodness.
That's stupid. That's stupid. That's stupid. That's stupid.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
That's stupid. That's stupid.
Oh, you didn't mean our gau, we not gau.
So, but it's a good one.
Look, let be honest here. Eugene Fagon, he ate lobster too, so he shouldn't. We're not stupid here, do he? Shouldn't tell us.
No, most of Eugene
Oh
Fagon.
no, you just lobster.
Eugene
You just
Fagon,
fish.
Eugene Fagon all the way to Lababido.
The man ate crayfish.
Well, maybe he was trying to do something. He was saving.
Go to Eugene Fagon. Go to Lababito. Eugene Fagon now
when he said Eugene too, he get when he said there are two Eugenes. I'm talking about the maritime. He like appetite too because he bold. They don't be small.
That man is blessed with appetite.
Yeah, with like small legs and eating heavy like that. So, but
anyhow,
folks, and some of us we eat what we
gotta
eat
go,
what
man. I gotta take my brother back before.
Yes. Okay.
All right,
guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I want to say thank you and good night to all of you.
All right. Okay, Liberal, thank you so much for George, and we'll do it again. Let's see what happens tomorrow.
Thank you, George. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Good night.
Okay, folks, there you have it. I will say thank you very much for tuning in. I thought we had some serious conversation here tonight. But we'll be back Monday. Tuesday, those of you that are listening on Tuesday, I will be having George Lobo, Cece, and Jonathan will be my guests on Tuesday afternoon. And it's not going to be a debate. It's just to discuss ideas, and because these are young people and what they have, and we will see what they have. So I will say thank you. Mr. So, is there anything else you want to say? Okay, he's out. All right, folks.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm not stupid. We're not stupid.
Let Eugene Fagon close her up.
I cannot campaign for late here to drive for the $7,000 for late here to drive for the $7,000 car.
Is that why you're sticking around for?
Oh my goodness. Bureau of Fun never does. The Liberal Progressive, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Getting ready to
all right, folks.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. All right, guys. Okay, thank you very much, and I'll say good night to all of you. Good night, folks. Thank you very much.